And we are here. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Lopes Goes Last podcast channel. I, of course, am your host, Tyler Lopes. If you are not subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. Also, hit that bell icon so you never miss any one of my videos. Also, please like and share this video so we can help this channel grow. And also, please follow me on Twitter at Lopes Goes Last and on Facebook at Lopes Goes Last Podcast. So, I will say this, hopefully you guys like the setup. There's a little bit more natural light going on, obviously with daylight savings time here. It's a little bit brighter, so hopefully that gives a little bit of a better visual background for you guys. But if not, I apologize. I can't control the sun. So, this is a very special week for me and for content creators that love sports. And it's a week unlike any other that has happened maybe ever. Because of the MLB lockout, everything has been pushed back. The season's been pushed back, spring training has been pushed back, and also, I think, maybe not necessarily most importantly, but most importantly for me as a content creator, free agency has been pushed back, which is usually all well and good, but for somebody whose channel relies not just on the MLB, but also the NFL and the NBA, the NFL free agency period also opened up this past week, so for the first time that I can remember, both MLB and NFL free agency are happening at the exact same time, which is really exciting because every 2 minutes you're getting a notification about something, but also it's frightening because every 2 minutes you're getting a notification about something, and it is non-stop, and it's for two sports all at once, so it is crazy. So obviously, I think that I wanted to let you guys know that this week's going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. So, full disclosure, just want to give you guys a peek behind the curtain here to kind of explain what I usually do. So what I usually do is I record these podcasts on Mondays. And during the editing process, I select a clip from the podcast that I feel like you guys would enjoy, and I will put that out on a Tuesday, and also another clip that I select, and I will put that out on a Thursday. And then I will put the full podcast out once it's edited and completed on Fridays. That's usually what I do if it's a normal week. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have not been normal, and this week is also not going to be normal, but hopefully we'll be getting back to that point soon. But nonetheless, what I'm going to do this week, instead of that kind of normal trajectory of what the podcast is going to look like, is I am giving you this clip. I'm going to talk about the MLB lockout, my thoughts about the baseball being back, and obviously this portion of the podcast, which is me explaining what's going to happen this week. So that's mainly what I'm going to talk about in this clip. I wanted to get my thoughts about what the new CBA deal entails, and just kind of get that out for you guys. And so that's what's going to come out. By the time this comes out, it will be March 15th, Tuesday, March 15th. So that's what's coming out on Tuesday. So again, that's the day that you'll be seeing this, or at least the day that it'll be coming out. And then on Thursday, March 17th, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a much longer episode. It's honestly probably going to be comparable to a normal Lopes Goes Last podcast episode length. It might be a little bit shorter, but basically what it's going to be is I'm going to be dedicating that podcast to NFL free agency, and also I'm going to talk a little bit about the Celtics as well, because I haven't really talked about them in a couple of weeks, and they've really been playing well, so I wanted to talk about them as well. So I'll be doing that on Thursday. So again, on Thursday, NFL free agency and the Boston Celtics. That's what the video on Thursday is going to be about, or Thursday by the time it comes out. And then also, on Friday, what I'm going to do is I'm giving MLB free agency a little bit more time to breathe, since it has been a little bit slower than I think a lot of us anticipated. So, on Friday, hopefully, there's going to be a big explosion of free agent signings over the next few days. And on Friday, I'm going to dedicate that entire podcast to MLB free agency. So again, Tuesday, March 15th, when this video comes out that I'm saying this right now, it's going to be the MLB lockout, which is what I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And then Thursday, it's going to be NFL free agency in the Boston Celtics. And then Friday is going to be MLB free agency. So I'm triple recording, triple uploading for you guys this week, as opposed to what I normally do. So strap in. It is going to be a very long week for me, but hopefully it's going to be a very exciting week, and a very exciting week for you guys as well. All right. So now that that plan is out there, I want to jump into baseball's back, baby. Yes. I mean, I'm so excited. Obviously, you know, I've been very vocal about what I think the players should do. And even if the season got moved back, even if games got canceled, I thought the players should just continue to fight, continue to get everything that they could out of it. And I'm so happy that they did, because they got such a better deal than what the owners were originally presenting. It is scary. But man, obviously, as you guys know, the MLB and the MLBPA have finally agreed upon a new CBA. What's also awesome is that they were able to salvage a 162-game season. And how they did that was they canceled the first couple of weeks of games, or actually the first week of games in the end. But they canceled some games, and so the season got moved back a week. Yes, that's true. But they will still end the season on time, because they will just add some games when teams have off days, and they will also have some double headers in certain times. So they will be able to salvage the roughly 5 to 7, maybe 8 games if you know, it's some crazy happens. But usually it's going to be about 5 to 7 games in that first week of the season. Those games will be made up throughout the season for every team. So, point being, 162-game season has been salvaged, which I think is the best thing for baseball fans. Best news that they could hear. But the question that is, I'm sure, on all of your minds is, what are my thoughts about the actual deal itself? Did the players get their fair share? Did the owners still hold back a lot of what they could have given? So here is my take. I have seen a lot of people that kind of look at it from both ways. Some people think the players really lost this one. Some people think that the owners really lost this one. And reason being, you know, a lot of people think that the players lost because, you know, there weren't enough anti-tanking measures put in this deal, perhaps. And they're also, you know, they may not think that the financial structure of the game has changed really at all, and then maybe the owners didn't give as much equity to the players as the players would have liked in this deal, and I can certainly understand all of those arguments for sure. But again, there are a lot of people that think the players won this negotiation because they got most of the important things that they asked for. They got a $50 million pre-arbitration pool, which I know is less than half of what they asked for, but, you know, if you guys saw my my podcast a few weeks ago, kind of going over the math of what I thought would be a good number, I thought 40 million would be a good number, and they got 10 million more than that. So I think that they did really, really well in that. They got a 12-team playoff, which I know that I was somebody that was not a fan of the 14-team playoff that MLB proposed. And I know the players weren't really a fan of it either, but it started to seem like the only way the players were going to get the numbers in terms of the actual finances of the deal that they wanted, they were going to have to give that 14-team playoff, and I'm so thrilled that that's not what happened. They ended up getting the 12-team playoff, and they also got a significantly increased CBA. So it went up from 210 last year to now, I believe, 234 this year. I think that's what it starts at, and it goes up to like 245 or 250, something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers of the deal, but either way, it's a very significant increase, and the owners took the amount of taxes down significantly from when they started. So obviously, that's a big win for the players. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, the pre-arbitration pool was pretty sizable. The only thing that I was a little kind of weirded out on was the international draft. So they did agree on an international draft. I'm not really sure how much I'm a fan of that. I think that the international signings are something that I really look forward to throughout the year, because you just never know who a player is going to sign with. I personally was shocked when Shohei Ohtani signed with the Angels. I was like, the Angels? Why would you want to go to the Angels? They're terrible every year. So, you know, it's just kind of like you get really interested in like where these guys end up going, because they can pick where they go. And obviously with an international draft now, they're not going to be able to choose where they go. A team is going to be able to choose them. Now, luckily, it's not going to be based off of record as far as I know. I think they're going to take a specific region or a specific division, whatever the case may be, and those teams are going to pick first. Then another sector, or whatever the case may be, and they're going to kind of alternate it throughout the years so that it's more fair, which I think makes a lot of sense. But again, that was pretty much the only thing that I wasn't really a huge fan of. And so, for me, I think that this deal ultimately was exactly what it should have been. It was a compromise. Both sides, the owners and the players, got a lot of what they wanted, but they also gave up a lot of what they wanted. So I think that's exactly that's the definition of a compromise, is I want this, so in order to get this, I'm willing to give you this. And I think that's exactly what the CBA is. And again, the owners got a lot of what they wanted. Like I said, the international draft that's starting in 2024. They got the ability to change certain rules faster, so it takes a little bit less time for the MLBPA to approve of rule changes, and it's going to be a little bit easier for the owners to implement new rule changes. They also got the universal DH that the owners wanted. They also are implementing a pitch clock. They also are possibly going to be implementing robot umpires, which I know MLB has wanted for a while, over the next couple of years. So the owners certainly got a lot of what they wanted. And of course, the players obviously got a lot of what they wanted, which I'm not going to mention them again, but obviously all the things that I mentioned earlier, the players got a lot of what they wanted. Could the players have gotten more? I mean, probably, yeah. I did read that the MLBPA's executive subcommittee, kind of comprised of the players that you probably saw headlining the meetings, like Andrew Miller, Max Scherzer, Jameson Taillon, guys like that, Garrett Cole, guys like that were part of the subcommittee. They actually unanimously voted against this new CBA. I did read that. And I don't necessarily know what their reasoning was, but I'm speculating here that, I've seen a lot of articles saying that, it's just because they were being horrible and they didn't want to play baseball. That's just not true. Come on. I mean, at the very least, Max Scherzer is the ultimate competitor. Of course he wants to play baseball. But the point is, I don't think that's the reason why. I think that they kind of knew that with the big, huge new ground that this CBA has broken, there's not going to be a lot of negotiation and a lot of room to grow this CBA in terms of just adding more things onto it, making it more complicated. I think there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for at least the next decade, probably the next 10 years. It's probably not going to be, you're not going to be able to, decide, what to do. You're not going to be able to negotiate any more money from the owners, probably, for the next 10 years. So I think that the subcommittee probably just knew that and were wanting to get just a little bit more out of the CBA, knowing that they weren't going to be able to renegotiate for 10 years. So that's kind of my take on it. You can think whatever you want about that. It's totally up to you guys. Obviously, I always leave room for your guys' opinion, but nonetheless, I do see this as the players getting a lot of what they wanted, and I think it was just a huge win for the players and for fans as well. But I think it's also a win for the owners. They still maintained a lot of the status quo of the finances of baseball that they wanted. Obviously, owners never want to kind of forfeit that status quo of how much money they're going to be making, and I think they kept a lot of it still. But they also were willing to put in a lot more money than they had in the past, which I think is definitely a good thing for the players. So I definitely think, in short, both sides won this. For the players, it gained a lot of momentum, going forward. I talked early on in this process that the players have been kicked around by the owners for years and years and years, decades, honestly. And so I think at the very least, players took a little bit of power back and got some more negotiating power back from the owners than they had before, which I think, honestly, is one of the most important things that we can have in our sport today. Because, it's so nice to see players being able to have more representation, have more say in how things go, have more say in where they go. Now, obviously, there's a line. But right now, I think it's certainly just really important that the players have more negotiation power than they've had in the past. With all that being said, I'm sure, no matter how you perceive, was it a good deal, was it a bad deal, I think we can all agree that the real winners of this whole CBA coming to bear is the fans. Baseball's back. I mean, we just wanted to watch our favorite players, and I'll tell you what, it's Tuesday, there's already been some crazy, it's actually Monday, I don't know why I said Tuesday, it's coming out on Tuesday, throwing myself off. But anyway, no, it's Monday, and there's already been some just wild stuff going on in terms of trades, people signing places, and it's just going to be crazy, and I cannot wait to talk about all of it on Friday, but you guys are going to have to wait for that. Ultimately, getting back to the CBA, what do you guys think? Did the players win? Did the owners win? Does anybody really care at this point, and they're just happy that baseball's back? Whatever the case is, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But nonetheless, that's going to be it for me today. Please tune in on Thursday and Friday for the big free agency videos that I'm going to be putting out. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, me again. Thank you so much for watching one of my clips from the Lopes Goes Last podcast. These clips are so much fun to do. I absolutely love making them, and I absolutely love doing them. And this podcast is my baby. So I really want this thing to grow, and I really want it to succeed. So if you did like what you see, please subscribe. Also hit that bell notification so you never miss any one of my episodes or one of my clips like this one. And please do also like and share these videos with your friends and your family so that we can make this thing grow as fast as possible. And I wanted to thank you again so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day.